Good afternoon, my dear brothers and sisters. First, I would like to thank our priest presider this afternoon for obliging to celebrate and presiding over the Mass this day. We were together in the seminary. I am just 4 years his senior in the seminary. He is here together with his parish staff. They have an outing. But I told him, since you will pass by the Manila Cathedral, I think it is good that you preside over the Mass and I will preach in this celebration. He is Father Franz Joseph Aquino from the Diocesan Shrine of Nuestra Señora de las Saleras in Nueva Ecija, in the Diocese of Cabanatuan. Let us welcome Father Franz. Salamat, Father Franz, for celebrating this Mass with us this afternoon. It is very providential that we celebrate the feast day of Saints Timothy and Titus a day after we celebrated the conversion of Saint Paul. Because Saints Timothy and Titus are the close friends and close collaborators of Saint Paul in his mission. And if we would look closely, they have almost the same story of conversion. If we would look at the life of Saint Paul and in the story of Saint Paul, what was the cause of his conversion? The conversion of Saint Paul was brought about by his encounter with Jesus. It is not just about the teaching of Jesus. In fact, Jesus was not able to teach him because he was not able to meet Jesus physically. But Saint Paul was able to encounter the Lord. And that encounter changed Saint Paul. This is also the story of Saints Timothy and Titus. They were converted not just because of the teaching of Saint Paul, but because he encountered Saint Paul. In our first reading today, we hear of this when Saint Paul, in his letter to Timothy, writes, I yearn to see you again, recalling your tears, that I may again be filled with joy. And I recall your faith that I have encountered with you. My dear brothers and sisters, we are reminded today that our lives are changed not by great teachings, but by meaningful encounters. Nababago po ang buhay natin, hindi lamang sa pakikinig sa turo, kundi sa pakikipagtagpo natin sa isa't isa. Yesterday, I celebrated a Mass in San Pedro, Laguna, in a school. And I told them that many of us are changed not by the teachings of our teachers, but by our encounters with our teachers. Tama ba yan? Tatanungin ko kayo ngayon, ano ba ang naaalala ninyo sa guro ninyo? Yung itinuro ba nila? O yung ugali nila? Madalas ang naaalala natin, ay, yung teacher na yan, mabait sa akin, no? Napakamalumanay niyang teacher na yan. He always encourages me. Pero minsan kapag masungit ang teacher, kahit gaano kagaling niya magturo, ang naaalala mo, ay, masungit yung teacher na yan, napagalitan ako niyan. What changes us are not really great teachings, but our meaningful encounters with one another. So, in the past 2 years of this pandemic, we have not been encountering one another. And I am sure you missed seeing one another. Tama ba ako? Na-miss nyo ang isa't isa? Kahit minsan nga, yung kinaiinisan mo sa school o sa opisina, na-miss mo nga rin yan eh. Because we are shaped by our encounters with one another. That is why Jesus, in our gospel reading today, sent His disciples to live with people, to encounter people, not only to teach them, but to encounter them and live with them, to eat with them. That is the source of our change, our meaningful encounters with one another. That is why salvation comes not to those who learned, but to those who believed. Ang kaligtasan ng Panginoon ay matatamo natin hindi kapag natuto tayo, kundi kapag nanalig at naniwala tayo. Salvation comes not only from the teachings, but from our meaningful encounter with Jesus. And so, my dear brothers and sisters, as we continue this celebration of the Mass, let us prepare ourselves always, daily, for meaningful encounters with God in this celebration of the Mass and with one another, as we meet one another and as we always prepare meaningful encounters with each other. Amen.